Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I should be happy. I've created everything I thought that I was supposed to. Everything looks good on paper. So why does it feel so flat, hollow, empty? And then you feel ashamed because you think you should feel more grateful. There's really nothing wrong with your life. If that's you, I need you to hear this. There's nothing wrong with you. Your life isn't flat because you're ungrateful. It feels this way because you've built a life on the wrong values, the wrong belief system. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what's happening. So what typically happens is that you try to fix this problem externally, which means you try to get a new job, a better job. You plan a vacation, but then you just come back and feel the same way. Or maybe you just try to mentally escape. You have an extra glass of wine, you scroll on Facebook or binge watch Netflix, anything to not feel the emptiness. And here's the thing, you go on vacation, it is enjoyable for a couple of days, but you always feel the same when you get back. Nothing ever really changes. You get a new job, you're excited about that for a little while, then all these old feelings start creeping back in again. And ultimately, you move across the country, it's amazing, you love Arizona instead of Michigan, but you start to feel the same way again. And that's when it really hits you that there's something inside of you that needs to change. And it's really easy to fall into this trap of feeling ashamed because on the outside, there's really nothing wrong. You should feel grateful. That's at least what you keep telling yourself. So how can you want for more when you actually have so much in your life? But the problem is you can't hide from the fact that something deeply feels off. And maybe you really can't put your finger on it. And that's the most frustrating part. If you're an intelligent, high achiever, you feel like you should be able to figure this out, right? So after years of living in this pattern myself, I realized that it is not an external problem. You can't fix it with a new job, a new boss, a different neighborhood. You certainly can't fix it by moving across the country. There's an internal shift that has to happen. You're living within something called the achievement paradigm, and it's not your fault. Based on the way that you were raised, what society says is important, like achievement and making money and successful careers, you literally spent decades creating a life built on those values, those beliefs that that's what you needed to be successful, to be happy in life. Achievement, work, success, productivity, because that's what society tells us is important and what we need to do. But you get stuck in the achievement paradigm paradox because the exact things that create all the success are going against the deeper desire that you actually have for life. You want ease, you want to relax, you want to take your foot off the gas, you want to just enjoy life. And ultimately, the achievement paradigm says that your worth is based on what you do, what you perform, what you achieve, all external things. But if your internal core values are to live a life of ease or enjoyment of life and slowing down, then you have this misalignment. And once you reach 40, 45, 50 years old, you just can't live this way anymore. You've realized that everything you've achieved has not given you what you ultimately want. And you can't ignore it anymore. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. You've gotten the job, you've gotten the raise, you've gotten the nice house in the nice neighborhood, but yet you're still wanting to just feel satisfied, feel proud, feel free, feel alive. I was talking to a colleague and she said, I felt like I was living in a grayscale life when what I really wanted was technicolor. Everything looked perfect. She had the job, she had the achievements, she had the career, she had a good relationship, but the way she felt was gray, dreary, flat. And she realized she built her life around work and achievement and performing and getting ahead. But her true values were beauty and creativity and ease. And no amount of career success was ever going to make her feel she was living in that technicolor life. This is what I call the belief-desire mismatch. You believe, I should be happy with achievement and success. But what you desire is building a life around beauty and experience and feeling alive. That mismatch is creating the grayscale. And no external change is going to fix this until you address the underlying beliefs and values that this is all built on. So why doesn't getting a new job work? Why doesn't moving to a new location work? Why don't vacations work? because you were trying to change a belief system, a value system with an external solution. And here's the thing, you can't just think your way to a new belief system. Your beliefs are ingrained in your mind-body connections. So for me, I built my whole life around thinking that I had to get a good job, I had to be in the medical field to have a stable career, to be happy, to be fulfilled. That's what I believed growing up, and that's what I created my whole life built on. And when I just tried to change jobs, nothing changed. When I moved across the country, I brought all of those beliefs with me. And so even though it was really exciting and I loved living in Arizona, I had this underlying feeling that something was still off. And it was because I still had this belief that I had to achieve, I had to work hard, I had to perform to create the life that I wanted. It was a misalignment of what I truly wanted. What I wanted was freedom. I wanted to express myself. I didn't want to do what everyone else told me to do. And once I saw that, once I realized what I was basing all of my decisions on and why I created the life I did, I was free. I was able to start to change the belief system that no, I actually can do whatever I want. I actually can create an amazing life no matter what I achieve. I can stop working so hard and proving myself and actually feel proud and excited and celebrate myself and my accomplishments. I didn't need to do this for anyone else other than for what I truly wanted, what mattered to me, what was important for me. So if you've tried all kinds of things to feel better about your life, this is why it's not working. It's not because you're a failure, and it's not because you're just always going to be unhappy. It's because there is a belief system that gets to shift. Not your job, not your location, not how hard you work. It's what you believe about yourself, about what's possible, about what you want. And when you get really, really clear about the things that you tell yourself day in and day out about what you have to do, that's when you can start to chip away at it and you can start to create new belief systems and you can start taking action based on what you actually want, what matters to you. That's when life starts to shift from feeling gray and flat and empty to feeling vibrant and colorful and exciting and truly yours. So if this resonates, I want you to drop a comment because this stuff actually changes everything. You can literally feel 100% differently about your life without blowing it up, without moving across the country, though maybe you want to, without really changing anything externally. You can change everything about how you feel. And it's incredible. So don't forget to subscribe because I'm here to help you shift from, is this it, to creating a life that you fucking love. So hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.